Welcome in to my channel. I'm Emily. This is Reluctant Channeler. I'm going to do a reading for Leos for August of 2026. I might not do every single zodiac sign. It wasn't really my intention to do a standard YouTube channel. But I figure since we're in the month of August, it's just the beginning of the month, let's take a look at Leo birthdays. I know that Virgo is here at the end of the month, but just kind of experimenting a little bit with a Leo reading for August 2026. These readings are timeless. When you find them, there's a message in them for you. That is my intention. Also, if you have found this, it is my intention that the collective, my collective, will have a message in this. It is my intention that there is a specific collective that resonates with me and that I am meant to be reading for. And so I'm going to go ahead and see about the Leos in my collective. What does Leo need to know for this month, August 2026? What is it that Leo needs to know on their spiritual path this month, August 2026? Again, this is a timeless reading. We're going to look for the overall energy this month for Leo. What does Leo need to know this month? That one stayed in here. Look at your card. Your card came out, Leo. Let's see. Strength and Serenity. Oh, that's a beautiful card. Let's see. I realize that this is not a traditional tarot deck, but with the Strength card coming out, that's Leo showing up there in their own energy. But I do like to read this for the overall month. The overall energy of the month for August 2026. This deck is the Mystical Garden deck by Denise Lynn. Not affiliated in any way, just a deck that I chose specifically to do these readings on YouTube. So I hope you you enjoy it. So the Strength, the Oak. When you receive this card, it indicates that you have the strength to overcome any obstacle. Your greatest strength isn't loud and demanding. It is silent and deep. It doesn't need a show of force. It just is. Sometimes your strength may come from surviving and thriving after change. Sometimes it springs from conquering a painful situation. But do know that a vast wellspring of strength dwells within you. You can conquer almost anything. This card can also mean that it's time to lend your strength to others who are not as capable as you. Additionally, you can call upon strength and support from spiritual helpers. They're waiting to be called. It's a prayer. That's a prayer card. For the Serenity card here, the moon as a source of light in the darkness can represent not only serenity, but also illumination, insight, and inner wisdom. Be open. In unexpected ways, a silent undercurrent of beneficial energy is flowing into your life. Be receptive. You don't need effort and struggle. As you embrace the feminine force within you, wonderful things will flow into your life. There is a guiding force working within you, even if there seems to be darkness in your life. Clarity and insight are unfolding. Search for the light. The moon is a source of light in the dark, and thus it can indicate seeking out the light. Notice where there are people or situations that are uplifting and go in that direction. Scan your life. There may be something slightly off or someone who is not as they seem. If something doesn't feel right, stop. Do not go forward. Listen to the voice of serenity and you will be at the right place at the right time. That is, so this overall message for the month of August, Leo, is that you have the inner strength and courage to follow your intuition. That it is not going to lead you astray, and there is a lot of wisdom within you that you can follow if you give yourself the time and the space to do so. So it's really about having that courage when you feel pulled in a certain direction to follow that, or if something says, you know what, this doesn't really feel right for me, having the courage to say no too, which I know for a lot of us, saying no is not something that we necessarily learned to embrace. So I'm going to go ahead and just set this off to the side here, and then take a look at the reading for the month of August, Leo. So we're going to look at a 5-card reading, and this is, the first card is your energy that you're in for the month of August 2026. The collective energy, so that meaning like the people around you, the people kind of outside of yourself, and not necessarily, I'm trying to explain as far as like collective energy, like basically the people that like you're kind of around, but not necessarily your energy, which might be different from the people that are around you. What's impacting or interfering with your flow? That's an energy that we'll look at. That's the 3rd card out. How to overcome any distractions this month in August, and what the overall outcome is for the month of August. So let's take a look at your energy for this month of August 2026, Leo. Let's take a look at your overall energy. Out with some fire energy. The collective energy, that's the energy that's around you, not necessarily that you're in, but the collective energy around you. There's some disruption happening this month around you. What is impacting or interfering with your flow this month, Leo? What do you need to know for this month? Like what might actually be interrupting or impacting your flow? It might be a supportive energy. It might be a disruptive energy. Let's take a look at interfering or interrupting your flow. That one's getting stuck. There's 2 there. Can't go ahead. Oh, okay. That actually looks pretty good. Interesting there. And how to overcome any distractions this month, Leo. How does Leo overcome any distractions this month? And overall outcome. I'm going to get a clarifier on that 5 of Pentacles coming out for the overall outcome of this month. To come twice. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, I'm just going to take, we have the 9 of Cups at the bottom of the deck and the Hanged Man on top. So with this outcome, there is, what Spirit is asking is for you to have a new perspective on what you wish for, or you might be getting a new perspective on what you really want. Which also makes sense when you're looking at having the strength and the courage to follow that intuition. Because what this is showing me is that you, this month, Leo, are like, I'm moving toward this certain thing, and it's not at all turning out the way I expected. And expectations and this mental energy that you're in is not the way Spirit is guiding you necessarily. So, there's something changing for you, Leo, this month, and your energy is you're standing in your power, and the outside energy outside of you is that something is kind of something that has remained stagnant or has been in place for far too long. The Tower comes when something has been, when a foundation has been built or a situation has been created that is no longer supportive of where you're headed. And nobody, I don't want to say nobody, it seems like the Tower gets bad rap. And if we're like, this particular Tower, I love this deck because it's very sweet. But here you have the Emperor with very much like the Aries energy and that fire sign energy, which you are, Leo. You are a fire sign, as you well know. If you're on this channel, you know that already. But the sun is shining here, and you're in your own power, and you're kind of very, Leos know themselves, and they know what they want, and they go for it, and they do like to shine. And if you are a July Leo, you know, happy birthday. If you're an August Leo, happy birthday. But this month, Leo, you're shining your light pretty bright, and you're kind of in your power this month, and you're kind of feeling like the ruling of your own life and all of that. And then what's kind of going on outside of you is this tower energy. And I'm looking a little more closely at this card here, and I'm going to hold it up. I hope that there's not too much glare, that you can actually see it. But we have a rainbow, so not trying to be religious, but this is a spiritual space, so we can talk about spiritual things. And the rainbow is God's sign that, hey, I have not left you, right? That everything's going to be okay, that this is not like, yeah, I cleared out a whole bunch of crap. I've cleared out a whole bunch of crap, but it was all for the better good, for the greater good. So, and we have this eye up here in the sky, and it's, and it's taking this tower down. The eye in the sky has sent a lightning bolt that is destroying the tower here, and the rocks are all hitting the water. But the main character here in this card is this duck, and I'm looking at this duck, and this duck is very calm. This duck is not flying away. This duck does not have a panicked look on its face. This duck is just like so I'm just gonna like move away from that tower with everything crashing down, and I'm just gonna kind of calmly swim away, mind my own business. So that's kind of funny here, is a little bit of funny energy. But so with this, it's just it looks like to me that you're on solid ground, you're in the mountains over here, all is all right. Looks like the whole world is crashing down, but God's saying, hey, it's going to be okay. This clearing is for the greater good of everybody. So you're just going to sit here in your strength and your serenity. So she's sitting on a lily pad in this card. We have our little calm duck over here, and this light, and this light, and to me that looks like a sun. But we have the moon over here. But so and the moon with like that interior energy, that reflective energy, and just looking at like what might be impacting, interfering, or interrupting your flow. Things are coming into balance, and not only with the Justice card, with divine justice, this connection to spirit that's bringing in the balance. Spirit is bringing in the balance, but also the Temperance card of, you have the irises, and I forget the symbology, I apologize. It's something for me to study a little bit, but there is some light here. And with the Temperance card, it's like, there's something about doing an impossible when in the traditional Rider-Waite, you have a cup over here and a cup over here, and the water is going across, and there's a transmutation, there's an energetic balancing there. These two cards show me that whatever your flow, it looks to me like your flow is not being interrupted at all. You're transmuting some energy here. And so maybe you don't necessarily see or acknowledge that you're transmuting the energy, but things are coming into balance. So I think you're, Leo, remaining balanced this month through whatever whatever the outside actions are. You're staying in your peaceful, and if you're not, that's the energy to be in, is that while all this is happening outside of yourself, you're staying in your own power, you're staying in your own direction, and you have the strength and the courage to follow your own intuitive guidance. That's really what's being called here for this month, is just staying in your lane, Leo. You're just staying in your lane. And with this card, how to overcome the distractions, that's more King of Wands. Like the King of Wands, he's just doing what the King of Wands does. And whether I have a different deck where the King of Wands is kind of just watching it all go down, right? And again, more fire energy. How to overcome is you, Leo, just staying in your lane, staying in your own power. Just sit back and watch the show, would you? Like, try not to involve yourself with whatever this is, whatever's going on. Just know that there's a divine balancing, a divine order that's taking place, and you can just kind of sit back and watch, and just mind your own over here. Because let's see, Mr. Fox has his crown, and he's got a little lizard, and he is just kind of watching it all happen. So with the outcome being the Five of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles, now this is interesting because you have looking straight ahead, looking off to the side, but largely straight ahead. And then you have these guys that are looking straight ahead. You have the King of Wands that's looking back and kind of looking at all this stuff going down. And then at the end, you have the Five of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles, which these two cards, the animals in these cards, are looking forward. King of Wands is watching all this. Five of Pentacles. So this feels a little bit like, hey, I'm moving forward, but I'm not really sure what I'm moving forward toward. It kind of, everything looks a little bit... I'm trying to find the right word. Everything's looking a little bit uncertain. Is kind of like all of this has gone down, and now you're looking forward, and you're like, oh shoot, like this has come down. I maintained, and I was like, I just kind of watched, and I would maintain my peace, and I stayed in my own serenity, and I'm just listening to my guidance. But now it all looks a little bit scary, and I feel like I don't even know what I'm moving toward. I feel like I might not be able to recreate or reinvent or even like that I'll be able to recoup now what I have lost or what's been lost. And because you might not be losing anything. It might be other people that have lost. And again, I'm going to go back to this Nine of Cups on the bottom and the Hangman on top, where like the Nine of Cups, like maybe what you're not seeing, you have this outcome energy of, oh, all is lost and I have to do all this work again and I have to start over and I'm never going to be able to recoup. And like you held your own while you watched it, and then at the end you're just kind of like, I don't know. But I think what Spirit's showing here is that what you don't see coming, more or less, is that you're getting what you wanted, just not in the way you expected it. And so you just need to have a new perspective on it. I like this little sloth here, right? He's got this grin. He's got the little halo around his head. He's pretty content. He's really happy. And so there's something in this where, like, all this stuff has gone down, but it might not look so great. It might look like a lot of work. It might look like you've kind of lost some stuff, or that the shit is hitting the fan, excuse me. But there's an underlying wish fulfillment. There's something here that maybe you just need to slightly change your perspective on. So this is looking pretty good. I think, Leo, that you are in the right energy this month. I think at the end it's going to be a little bit like, I'm not really sure, but keep following that intuition and maybe take a little more reflection and see, wait, what am I missing about this situation that is actually exactly what I wanted? And I think if you're able to kind of mold your perspective in that way, you might see that, like, and maybe you can look at it that way the whole month and just say, like, okay, where is, I hate to sound cliche with like the silver lining, but I almost feel like there's something hidden in whatever you're experiencing this month where it looks really bad. You're watching it, you're staying calm, you're not like getting all like wrapped up in it, you're not getting excited or even overly emotional. You're not getting, like, there's no like fluctuation in the energy. For you, it seems to me like you're staying pretty calm and peaceful and you've got your shit together through the whole month. But like this energy at the end here is kind of a little bit, you're like, yeah, I've held it together, but now I'm really not so sure. But I think what Spirit is saying as far as this outcome goes is that there is, again, like this, there's something to what has happened or what is happening that is exactly what you want. And you're just not quite seeing it that way yet. So there might be just a little adjustment in perspective that needs to happen so you can see exactly why this is happening and why it's for your highest good and why it's exactly what you want. So Leo, I hope you enjoyed this message. Please like, share, subscribe. I think, I'm trying to get more consistent with putting these messages out. I do feel like I have a very specific collective that these messages will resonate with, and I'm really glad you're here. So thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed the message, and we'll see you again soon.